but it was also very interesting.
Not as interesting as it was stupid.
Nonetheless, it was still interesting.
Stupid.
Interesting.
All right. It was interesting.
But it was also stupid.
Yes, good morning. That's what I have to say. Very interesting, but stupid. Yes. You know what that was from? That was from Laughing. How many hundreds of years ago was that? Still appropriate in my mind. Yes, I'm living in the past and happy to be. How you doing this morning? Hey, I'm Ann Eller right here with you this morning. Got Penny here. She is nonplussed at all this morning. How's she looking over here? Well, it's another day of this crap we got to do. Penny, you don't actually believe that, do you? Well, I don't have my own mic right yet. Well, we're working on getting you your own mic, Penny. That is for sure. So anyways, I'm Ann Eller here, having had a great weekend this weekend. Got to go to down there to Columbia to a graduation party. Saw some great clips of graduation. Even with all the hugeness, and I mean the hugeness, to see what is Colonial Arena just totally filled with people. Christy's daughter stood out. And maybe that's because people were looking for her and getting videos. But I was amazed about how, and I mean, I just saw videos, but how personal it actually was for them. I mean, I wasn't at graduation. I was just there for the after party. But I was amazed, like being able to get a video and seeing your daughter walking down the aisle. I mean, this was a huge event. It's a huge event for anybody's child to graduate for college. Maybe this one was a little sweeter because it was the first one in their family to graduate. So it was a lot of fun, a lot of party, a lot of good time right down there in Columbia. I was a little shocked. I was afraid I was going to have problems finding a place to park, but no problems parking, so it was great. Anyways, that was Saturday. I went to Sam's for the first time in I don't know how long, and I just kind of had a good time. It was shopping. Yes, in-person shopping right down there at Sam's. You know, one of the reasons I like to go to Sam's is all the interesting and different stuff that you absolutely don't need, but you almost fall into it. Of course, after you've walked, I don't know how many steps around it. I even forgot to check how many steps I actually walked on Saturday, because I did go to Sam's. And let's see. How many steps was it? Let's see. That's Sunday. Must have been this day here. Saturday. Well, not that many. Just 6,000 steps. Usually I would have thought that would have been more, but I did spend a lot of time driving. Anyways, if you have been celebrating graduates, and as we look forward to all these graduates taking off and taking over in the world, I only say this: hope you make better decisions than we have. Let's hope that they are capable and that they have had enough inspiration to want to do well for our world. Because it's really screwed up, let me tell you. I had so many topics here to talk about, I can't even figure out which ones to talk about this morning. But let's see. We've got, as much of an update as we can have about the fish kill. Here you go. We know nothing at all. There you go. That's the fish kill. You know, we think it's okay for you guys to be in the water. It's okay for you guys to drink the water. We've had 15 to 20,000 fish die, but we have no idea what killed them. Come on. This is ridiculous. I don't know about you, but that's how I feel about it. And that's all I'm going to say about it because it's just so tiresome. So tiresome. I understand that DNR didn't even bother to test for any chemicals or anything. They just said, nope, wasn't oxygen. Moved on. That was it. Now, whatever else the DHEC is involved in it too, the division, I've got to learn which is which on this. But the part of DHEC is is investigating. They've looked in these barrels. They've found barrels. They're flying over. They're checking all this stuff. Who knows what we have here, right? I'm going to tell you what. If anybody said to me, hey, Ann, I caught this fish out at Lake Greenwood, though. Oh, would you like one? I think I'll pass. I'm just saying that's just me personally. You may feel like you want to eat the fish out of Lake Greenwood. Not me. I am not going there. Let's see. Well, Steph is on Facebook Live with us right there on WCRS. She goes, it makes me feel like there's something they don't want us to know. Almost like they don't want to cause a panic. Hell yeah. That's what I say. That's what I say. I'm not actually saying there's anything to panic about, but it is bothersome. 25,000 fish. And we'll test it and we'll get back to you. That sounds like, and by the time we get you the answer, you will have moved on because the news cycle moves so quick, we won't even care. We won't even care about what it was about the fish. But I guarantee you, I'm not eating any fish out of there. How about you? 864-332-9355, 864-332-9355. It is very, 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 what shall we say, suspicious. It is very suspicious as to what is going on. And here's what I have to say to DNR. Yeah, that's right. It's a doggone shame right here in Greenwood, South Carolina. I'm surprised this story isn't getting national attention, aren't you? Lander, when they won the peach, they won the Peach Belt, right? We had the Bearcats make it all the way for basketball. I mean, all this good stuff. And then we had dead fish hanging out on the shore. Nobody can figure it out. Sounds suspicious. Sounds like I really need a little Elvis here this morning. Suspicious minds. All right, well, let's move on. That was one that I had to just give a quick update on. Trying to be helpful. That's me, Ann Eller, with my takes on life. Okay, now, I just happened to be flipping through the Wall Street Journal this morning. No, this was actually, what day was this? I run a little bit behind. What day was this? This was actually Saturday. They have a big article. The riskiest gig in public speaking is a college graduation. Commencement speakers are getting death threats and disinvitations once considered wearing a bulletproof vest. I'm going to say something. I think it's great we have bulletproof vests, and they do help in a lot of situations. But if you have somebody that is a good shot, such as Charlie Kirk, who, even if he'd been wearing a bulletproof vest, wouldn't have mattered, because the head is exposed. Like we've talked about before, I think we need to have a bubble, kind of like what you have for astronauts and everything. Only it's bulletproof, because the most important part. I mean, yeah, you need your heart, you need your lungs. Yes, you need some of these things, but you also need your brain to survive. So, but people considering wearing bulletproof vests, this is just ridiculous. This is ridiculous. It is of note. It is of note. They go through university commencement speeches used to send graduates into the world with a boost of optimism and a dollop of advice. This is again from the Wall Street Journal. Now the events have become a political minefield. And it talks about Georgetown University's law school speaker stepped aside, the school wrote in a letter Wednesday, after students challenged his support for Israel. At South Carolina State, a rescinded speaker invitation ignited a DEI fight that now threatens the school's funding. And you know who that is related to, Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett. So now she's made it into the Wall Street Journal with this publicity. Of course, we know at Utah Valley University, a gunman killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Schools are genuinely steering away from partisan speakers, but threading the needle is tough, said a lawyer at the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression. The underlying threat of violence, including a recent gunman at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, has given schools an excuse to use safety concerns as kind of a catch-all to do what they want. Well, you know, so if this is so divisive, and who actually picks the speakers is what I would like to know. Who picked Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett to be their speaker? Do they put it out to the students and say, okay, it's your graduation. Who would you like to hear from? Or do they hold it close to the vest and say, we will pick as your final lesson when you leave this college or university of higher learning, who is going to be your speaker? I was reading further in the article, and they said, unfortunately, if you're trying to create open-minded students, you need to do it before their final graduation speech. The idea of opening their eyes at a graduation speech is not really the way it can work to be successful. At Georgetown's law school, former Northwestern University president Morton Shapiro withdrew as commencement speaker after students called him someone who holds controversial Zionist and harmful opinions. Their petition linked to a column in which Shapiro said universities failed to protect Jewish students and accused the media of holding Israel to a double standard. Wow. And he said, I've presided over 28 commencements as a president and dean, and those ceremonies were about celebrating the graduates and their supporters, Shapiro wrote in a letter declining the speech. I was looking forward to giving a talk about humility and gratitude, but I don't want my presence to distract from the day's activities. So when things started heating up for him, he just withdrew. I bring this one up because it is the difference between Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett saying, well, she was going right up until the time that the president of the school disinvited her to come and speak. Some of the conflict is overshadowing graduation day. South Carolina Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett is now threatening to pull funding from South Carolina State University, a historically black university, after the school rescinded its invitation to deliver this month's commencement address. The school cited security concerns. They had actually gotten students protested Evett's support of President Trump and her criticism of DEI. About 25,000 people signed a petition urging the school to drop her, saying her presence wouldn't reflect the values we collectively hold dear. And of course, we know that Lieutenant Governor Evett called the detractors a woke mob, and she said her prepared speech extolled hard work, not politics. And of course, but they disinvited her. I just wonder how this would have all worked out if when all this protesting, peaceful protesting, started out, would they have, would she have been better off to withdraw? That's just a question. Or was it better for her to hold the position that she did? 864-332-9355. It's an old topic and not worth really talking about anymore, except that with this article in the Wall Street Journal, it kind of gives pause, doesn't it, to the thinking that that is out there. In conclusion about this article, I mean, there have been all kinds of articles. As pressureless, one person, let's see, at Utah University planned commencement speaker Sharon McCone, a best-selling author on American history and civics, said she had hoped to deliver a speech that would comfort those mourning Charlie Kirk. Instead, Republican lawmakers began criticizing her for remarks she made on social media soon after he was killed. And this is where Mike Lee, Senator Mike Lee says, raise your hand if you'd like UVU to reconsider inviting Ms. McComb to speak at commencement. She said she tried to explain what she meant, but that wasn't going anywhere. In it, she condemned the killing and also quoted some of Kirk's rhetoric and noted that many felt harmed by it. Kirk's supporters said she took the words out of context. As pressure built, McComb attended meetings to discuss security for the event. Because concealed carry is legal in Utah, there could have been potentially thousands of guns in one building, she said. I thought they could control it if they didn't want to have guns in a building. She just said she decided to hire her own 3-person security detail and considered wearing a bulletproof vest. In the end, the risk felt too high. She and the school agreed she wouldn't speak. She decided this is not a situation that could move forward. So question, do you think that, and how do you think Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evatt has fared by throwing the gauntlet down, holding her position, waiting to see if they would disinvite her, and then has she capitalized it in her campaign? I'd say yes, she certainly has. Where will this defunding go? I have no idea. Will it even come up in the House and the Senate? So far, it has not, and they are pretty much done for this year, unless they have that sine die where they can come back and discuss one issue. The one issue now that is on the table to discuss is redistricting. Or wait, one more point about Pamela Evatt. She also has decided to come in and tell the legislature, the House and the Senate, to go ahead and get this redistricting done. She is pushing for this redistricting too. I have a lot of questions. I don't know about you. I have a lot of questions. One, I question motivation. It has given her team has to be doing the happy dance because it has propelled her into a higher position in the most recent poll that happens to be done by a group that is paid by her to do these polls. Just saying. So we will see how this all works out. But moving on to talk about redistricting. The House has approved going ahead with redistricting. They have done a sine die thing. They have done a sine die resolution, which will allow them to come back to discuss that one issue. The Senate on Thursday declined to do anything. Shane Massey is questioning the House leader has questioning about whether this is a good thing to do. Now, there are several reasons maybe not to do it this close to an election. Number one, it's going to cost the state, which means every time you say state, you need to say Ann Eller, Stephanie, George, Marianne, Diane, all of us. It's going to cost all of us money to redistrict. So, and they'd have to move the election, move the primary to a date further somewhere in August to be able to have the primary, because the districts could change. Of course, their ultimate desire in redistricting is to try to put Clyburn out of his district number 6. So, what do you think? 864-332-9355, or if you're watching right here on Facebook, be bold, make a comment, go for it, it's America. Yes, okay. Let's see. Steph says, I feel like her response, we're talking about Pamela Evan here, was retaliatory and not very professional. That's my opinion. Well, I think there was an ultimate goal here to her response, which is kind of bothersome. But anyways. So, what do you think about redistricting? Do you think it's a good idea? Some people are saying that Republicans might be surprised if they redid some of these districts. Some of them might go purple. They may not be totally red districts. You may remember down there in Charleston where they were looking at whether they had redistricted properly. Clyburn's district has been safe for many, many years as a Democrat. And one of the things they said, well, you could draw him right out of his district. Well, yes, and then somebody else says, yes, and he owns several houses down there, so it wouldn't really matter where you drew it to, he'd have a house. So, but here's the thing. Number one, it's going to cost money. That's one thing. Number two, it would have to open up on congressional districts. It would have to open up the primary filing to throw your hat in the ring for the primary. If they did this and moved it to some date in August, they would be able, I want you to listen to this now, they would be able, two candidates who are running for governor, if they did not make it, would be able to refile in their districts and potentially stay in Congress. Who would that be? Ralph Norman and Nancy Mace. So this is very interesting. If these two candidates don't make it, they're going to have to move the primary for congressional district. How would you like to feel? Well, I'm going up. There's no one candidate. I'm going to put my name in the hat for the district that Ralph Norman has represented, or Nancy Mace. And all of a sudden, either or both are rerunning for office. Is that a wild, unbelievable consequence? Yes, I think so. So, this redistricting is a lot more complicated than just go ahead and do it because President Trump wants it. President Trump may want that issue of trying to get 7 districts, 7 districts all Republican, but he might be surprised that some of these districts, particularly in South Carolina, where he thinks that it is all solid red, he might be surprised. Governor McMaster is not for doing the redistricting, came out early on that, and yet the House said, yeah, we're in. So, just something to consider. I think it's a waste of time and money at this point. I really do. I think it's a waste of time and money. people that have already put in to run for office, if that district was redrawn, might decide, I don't think I want to run again. And are they going to charge them a fee if they've already signed up for it? Are they going to have to pay another fee? I mean, it just gets to be an item of ridiculousness, particularly this late. What happens to the votes of people who had voted absentee, such as our military overseas and this type of thing? As of last week, about 200 and some votes out of 5,000 votes had already been returned. So people were voting. I just think it is insanity in South Carolina and would make me question the logic of the House and the Senate. Now, if the Senate doesn't take it up, I'm not sure what will happen. I don't think, if the Senate does not want to take it up, I don't think they can do it because they need both houses to do this. So we'll see how this goes forward. 864-332-9355. Steph says, I like this. I was raised to believe growing up in the American military that voting is to change representatives, not representatives to change voting. There's an interesting one. There you go. All right. Well, let's check the weather here this morning at WCRS. Okay. See, I really have questions. As voters, what do you consider the most important quality of someone you are electing? What is the most important quality? See, I think some of these some of these campaign teams believe that name recognition is all that matters. So it really is, to me, hard to believe that they would sell the voters that short. It's not the issues that matter, it's name recognition. But that must be so, because how many postcards have y'all received in the mail already? My God. And, I think a postcard is one of the most, I'm sure, I think it's the most not costly, it is the most costly way to advertise your candidate. Of course, I'm going to vote for radio every time, right? Because radio is right there. It's personal. It can change on a dime. You can change it up. A postcard, once you print it, it's going to go and it's not going to be able to be changed. Of course, unless you send another postcard, and then that's a huge amount of money. So I don't believe that postcards are as effective as a lot of people that are in the business. And when you talk to people about the number of people that get them and just throw them away, 864-332-9355, what is your opinion? Do you just throw those postcards away? Do you even bother to read them? No, I don't think so. So that is just one thing that I think is a shame from that standpoint. They spend all this money when they could be spending it on radio that actually gives results. That's right. If you are a candidate out there, if you know a candidate and you want them to get the exposure over and over and be I'm going to say, subtle reminder every time, and when they go to the polls, they got to go, who should I vote for? And then they go, oh, yeah, Ann Eller was talking about, or I heard it on Ann's station, WCRS. I think that is a lot more effective than these postcards that they do. But that's just me. All right, let's see what Penny's doing over here. Boring? She says this is boring. Well, okay, it's boring. All right. Anyways, Penny had a very stressful Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, like I said, I went down to Columbia. She had to stay here. She was the sentinel at the front door. Nobody was getting through that front door as far as Penny thought. She was on it. And then Sunday evening, I'm going to totally change I'm going to totally change topics here for a second. Sunday night, I went to see the Michael Jackson movie. OMG, it was great. It was absolutely great. The perspective as being from the family dynamics, and how his father was so driven. Some of this, Penny really is bored here today. Are you bored, Penny? I'm bored. I just want to go back to sleep. Get that camera off me. Okay. All right. There you go. Anyways, the movie Michael Jackson brings back the music, brings back the memories, but it's done from a totally different perspective. I never realized, I mean, I knew he had Neverland. I knew that he had Bubbles, the chimp. He had giraffes. He had a llama. Their house went from living in a small house in, where was it, Dearborn maybe, wherever, and their dad was working in the steel mill, and how he would make them practice, how Michael was not really wanting to conform as a little, I don't know, 7 or 8 year old child, and how his dad did bring them to the forefront from that standpoint. But in the end, he destroyed Michael because his desire to keep and make sure those boys were together. You know, I look at the story, and the person I went with afterwards, we were talking about what would have, you know, he had the opportunity. His dad, if he could have seen the handwriting on the wall, he could have said, okay, do what you want to do. You just got to make sure you're footing the bill for your brothers and for me and my house and your mother, blah, blah, blah. And guess what? He probably would have said, okay, I'll do it. His very desire for Peter Pan and Neverland, and how that really shaped his whole life, was most interesting perspective in the movie. And his desire to help children. He was, of course, you may remember when he got burned, his head got burned, and how he visited children in the burn unit. And his desire, he asked his manager, how much money were they going to get for that fire, for his head being set on fire. I thought this was most interesting. And he said, I think 7 figures. And he goes, I want all of the money to go to the hospital that he was in. He said, these kids should not be suffering. It was just an amazing story of heart. And actually, he got, if what they were saying in the movie was true, he got hooked on the drugs when this accident, his hair getting caught catching on fire, was the impetus to the whole drug thing. Now, it ended with him on a high, which was just great, just great. So if you want to go see a movie that's filled with music, life, and family dynamics, it's a good movie to see. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The music was just great. The actors, everything. I did notice at the end, the credits, the executive producers were all family members. That's right. So I kind of think they did this. They needed some money. But anyways, it's still a good movie. I highly recommend to go see it, enjoy, live out the past for just an hour, a couple hours there, and enjoy the movie. Michael Jackson gets 5 stars up from Ann Eller. That's right. I didn't jump up and dance, but I felt like it. All right. That's just a little aside on that. I agree. This is another comment from my Supremo texter here. She goes, what I find interesting driving a school bus close to 150 miles a day, I do not see any Trump signs. I do not see any Trump signs, bumper stickers. I do not see any MAGA hats or T-shirts. I was surprised as I drove down to Columbia that I saw one sign for Ralph Norman. I think it was in Newberry. I didn't see any Pamela Evatt. I may have seen one sign for Alan Wilson. But I was just surprised that I didn't see more signs, more banners, more roadside signs. I really did not see much of anything. Going down, you're right. I didn't see many yard signs with whoever somebody is supporting. It was kind of odd. Even the agricultural race, which is a highly contested race, very few signs out there. You would think with a month out to the primary, Saturday was a month, you would see more signs. I'm not sure what that means, but it is interesting from that standpoint. All right, so moving on here this morning, couple more topics here. Coco Chanel said something that I thought was really great. She goes, in order to be irreplaceable, one must be different. Maybe I qualify. What do you think? I always thought Coco Chanel was quite a character and certainly carried herself. And I love quotes. I don't know. I just love looking at the quotes on my feed. So in order to be irreplaceable, one must be willing to be different and march to that different drummer. So that I thought was an interesting one right there. Just something a little bit to think about. Other things in the news, Piedmont Tech's graduation is going to be at Lander on Tuesday. You know, they're redoing that whole facility out there, so they have no place to have their own graduation. So thank goodness they will be able to do it at Lander. That is Tuesday at Lander. I don't have the exact schedule, but just something that you might want to be aware of. Okay, so those are some of the things that I found interesting in the news. 864-332-9355. How about you? Are you looking at the news, or are you totally not looking at the news? Has anybody gone out and seen the Michael Jackson movie? We went Sunday, 6:15. Oh, they got some great movies coming on that. The old farts night. What are they doing? Saturday night, Sunday night, and Wednesday night. Yeah. I don't remember what it is, but there are some that I have got to see. So I'll be apprising you of the movies that are coming up from the past. You know, we've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off. We saw E.T. All of these movies are great. And they really are special to watch on the big screen. So, anyways, let's get a little bit more of some news out here for you this morning. I had a great yesterday. I posted on Facebook just a picture. I mean, all the Mother's Day. You know, it's really great to see all the Mother's Day tributes, all the Mother's Day thank yous for being my mom, people putting out tributes to moms. I mean, it's kind of cool to see all that, right? Because the next day, people are going to be going, I don't even like that woman. But for one day, people are excited about moms, and I think that is terrific. Now, Sunday morning, I was here, we were doing Sunday Gospel on the radio, and I was sitting in the back, my doorbell rang, and I was just like, okay, must be one of our gospel people putting a CD or something in my mailbox. I didn't think much about it, so I just looked at the ring, and I went, oh yeah, that's probably what it was. Well, a little while later, Penny and I go up to the door, and I decide to check and see what's been left out there. And Penny had ordered this wonderful bag of stuff for me. It was just amazing. I mean, I got this beautiful bag that said Dog Mom and all this kind of stuff. I'm telling you, it was just wonderful. And so first off, I want to take a little commercial break. When we come back, I want to share with you what Penny got me for Mother's Day. I was blown away. I don't even know where she got the money to do this, but she is an amazing, amazing girl. So let me take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. I'm going to share with you what Penny got me for my Mother's Day. It was just wonderful. All right, take it away. Let's see, where are those commercials? Gotta remember this. We gotta do the RTC lunchbox. Oh, there's so much going on. It's just crazy, but take it away. And now, an important message from the students at the G. Frank Russell Culinary School.
Come on out Monday for our final RTC Lunchbox Charity Dinner Series at Hobby Lobby, 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. We'll be serving food from Sports Break benefiting Connie Maxwell Children's Home, and our menu is
Whiskey River chicken wraps, shrimp tacos, or Cajun chicken sandwiches.
grilled cheese available with ham and buffalo chicken, pimento cheese and fried green tomato double smash burger, all entrees available with fries, onion rings, or coleslaw.
Come on down!
Don't miss the hottest deal of this summer.
Join in the month of May and get May, June, and July for half off.
That's right, 3 months of fitness, fun, and feeling your best at 50% off.
But don't wait. This deal is only for those who join in May. Miss it and it's gone.
Stop by today. Bring a friend and make this your strongest summer yet.
Join in May. Save big, feel amazing. Your summer starts now.
There's no place like this place. There's no place like this place.
Your Greenwood YMCA.
Step up to the plate with Greenwood American Legion Post 20, celebrating our 85th consecutive year of proud tradition. This season brings new energy with head coach Corby Long leading the way, building champions in baseball and softball on and off the field. From the diamond to the dugout, we're more than a team, we're family, and it's the best deal in town. Kids 12 and under are free. Join the tradition, bring the family, be part of Post 20's legacy today.
Oh, that's right. We're right back here, WCRS Radio. I'm going to tell you what, Penny went all out. You know, sometimes I just don't know whether I'm a good mom or not. I'll just tell you. But let me tell you, look at this huge bag that I got right here that has the words Dog Mom on it. Isn't that special? Oh, I just love it. And it also came with a little bag to go with it, the little Dog Mom one that I can carry her treats in, of course, yes. And then, this is just a little personal side. Maybe you want to hear it or not, I don't know. I got this cool drink thing in my Dog Mom era. It was very cool with a nice straw here. I think that's a sign that I need to start drinking my iced tea out of a nice glass, but I kind of concur with that. I got a candle here, fresh linen scented candle, yes. So I got so many cool things. I mean, this bag just went on and on and on. Look at this item right here. It is, I haven't even opened it, best Dog Mom ever. Don't know if you can see that or not if you happen to be watching. But I got all this cool stuff. That's just some of it. There's more in here. I don't know. Penny said I took care of it, and she really did. So for all of you, look at what I got. I got a nice Dog Mom bag. Yes, there you go. Plus all the stuff in it. So to whoever Penny worked with on this, thank you. She has her fans, that is for sure. So there you go. All right, Anyways, let's talk a little bit more. You know, we've got this excellent partnership with Chick-fil-A. And simple, delicious, and always a little surprising. That is Chick-fil-A. One of the things that we like about Chick-fil-A is that they are consistently delicious, always surprising. So that's Chick-fil-A. So simple, delicious, and always a little surprising. That's Chick-fil-A, and they're doing something really special in our community, and I am blessed to be working with them on this. We're calling them Chick-fil-A Community Moments, just simple ways to recognize people, businesses, and groups that make a difference right here in the Lakelands. So do you know a local business team or group that deserves a little appreciation? Nominate them for a Chick-fil-A breakfast surprise. How do you have to go about nominating them? Well, 864-332-9355. Simply call, leave a message, or text the group that you're thinking about that deserves a breakfast surprise for all the hard work that they do in our community for people, for whatever. But they may be the unsung heroes of our community, people that just work hard, do their job, and we want, Chick-fil-A and WCRS, want to spread a little joy into their lives. So just call WCRS at 864-332-9355 and share their story. And you might just end up with something a little delightful and surprising for yourself as the nominator if we choose the group that you are putting out for. So Chick-fil-A, know somebody that needs a little breakfast surprise, a little pick-me-up? Call or text me at 864-332-9355. Isn't that nice? I think that is so nice in this world. It's nice to do something delightful for people. Also wanted to remind you that Chick-fil-A is doing, for its Nurses Week, I think that is correct, and they are doing something special for nurses, If you just sign up with them in their app, you will Nurse Appreciation Week, yes. Register through ID Me and the Chick-fil-A One app to receive your reward coming up this Friday. So that is something that they are doing, and I think that's pretty cool. So you can go to your profile and preferences, edit your profile, scroll down and verify through ID Me. Check your app on Friday. And thank you, you'll be waiting, but you'll be getting a delightful surprise. So to all our nurses that work so hard, thank you. That's just another positive thing that we have for our community here in Greenwood. So, there you go. What else do we have going on? I don't know. We have a lot going on. Coming up this Wednesday, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy up there at the Pavilion in Greenville. I'm hoping to go to that. I just think that is a jazz band extraordinaire. I am looking forward. That will be outside. I think that would be something really cool. So I'm trying to see if I can't work a way to get to that on Wednesday. Greenwood Family YMCA is now offering swim lessons, adult teen lessons on Tuesday from 5:30 to 6:30. Pay per lesson, $10 for members, $15 for non-members. What a great idea. You know, they've got an initiative across the state to have swim lessons, and this is a good thing. We need people to know how to swim. We have a big lake here. If you fall in, you want to be able to get out rather quickly. Remember, 25,000 fish have died on that lake. All right, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm actually trying to see how we can solve this issue. It is terrible that after all this time, back in April, that DNR did not test for chemicals. I find that just bizarro. That is just bizarro world, and I am actually going to close the show out on that. It is bizarro.
That things feel a little strange, a little peculiar. That's because we're living in bizarro world.
Yes, it is bizarro that we don't already know the answer. It is good that our representatives, John McCravey, Billy Garrett, are working on this, but my question is, where is the logic? Excuse me. Where is the logic, folks? Where is the logic in finding out how to do this? I find it totally bizarro. All right, so that's just where I'm at on that. I would like answers. I think we should have already gotten answers on this, and it is crazy that we have not. Truthfully, it doesn't seem that we could not have logic enough to be testing the fish for the different things. Now, they are now. That's not the point. The point is, why didn't they test it beforehand? Why didn't they test it beforehand? I have to get my dog glass out so I can be more sophisticated when I take a sip of a drink. All right, so tomorrow, this is going to be an interview you are going to want to tune into. TJ Shadone, Police Chief TJ Shadone, is going to be on the air with us, so I hope you will join us. That, of course, will be 5 to 6 right here on WCRS. So we've got Festival of Flowers coming up. We're going to be interviewing Festival of Flowers people. We've got Rick Shealy the following week coming up. He's running over there, excuse me, in Lawrence. John McCravey comes up after that. Festival of Flowers, blood drives. I got all these things to talk about right here on the radio. But for today, it's Monday right here, and the weather is not frightful. The weather is what? As we close it out here this morning, I'm going to tell you, what is the weather? Right now in Columbia, it's 78 degrees. Well, who cares about that? I want to know what is it in Greenwood. It's 73 degrees. Feels like 72. We are headed for a high of 84. Low of 54 tonight. Chance of rain is about 40%. So if you need to get out there and get some stuff done, you might want to get it done. You might get some actual rain on it. What's the rest of the week look like? Tuesday, high of 76, low of 50. Wednesday, high of 81, low of 57. Just a 15% chance of rain. Thursday, high of 79, low of 49. And no chance of rain on Thursday. Friday looks like a beautiful day, high of 81, low of 57. Saturday, high of 90 degrees and a low of 63. Sunday, high of 93, low of 65. We're going to be getting hot here, folks, right here in Greenwood and our surrounding areas. Remember, whatever you do, keep WCRS radio with you. If you have a candidate you would like to see get more exposure, tell them to call me, 864-332-9355. Let's get together and talk about rates, because radio is one of those abilities to connect across all platforms and get you the most bang for your buck when you're right here on your local radio station, WCRS Radio. In closing, I would like to say I had an epiphany Saturday as I was driving down to Columbia. There are not many local stations left. That is my epiphany. There's right here in Greenwood. There's in Abbeville, WZLA. There's the lake going down there towards Columbia, KDA, right down there in Newberry. But the predominant amount of stations that I heard when I was kind of flipping around trying to see what was out there Saturday was gospel stations. I was amazed at how many gospel stations were out there, a few Spanish stations, and country stations, and most of them owned by big conglomerates. So in a world that is changing fast to homogenize what you hear, stay tuned and support your local radio stations. They are necessary and they provide so much for your enjoyment. I'm Ann Eller. This is WCRS Radio. We are going to say what, Penny? Let's see, yes. What are we going to say here? Penny, do you have anything to say? I don't have anything to say. I just wish we could get out of here and get some breakfast. Penny, what do you got to say? Yeah, there she is. Look at her, folks, if you happen to be watching. If you're not, make sure you watch the end of the show. Penny, do you want to say hi to everybody? No, I want to say goodbye. Let's get out of here. Oh, are you waking up? She looks so beautiful. She got groomed on Friday out there at C3 Kennels. If you're looking for a beautiful, beautiful job, beautiful job on your pet, check out C3 Kennels. What do you have to say about it, Penny? I'm exhausted when I come back because I get to play out there and run around, and then they make me beautiful when you come to pick me up. And I am very blessed to have that, Penny. So this is WCRS Radio. Have a great day. Remember, local radio, that's where the magic happens. And who has a dog on their show that really contributes, right, Penny? She goes, you are friggin' nuts, Mom. Yes, I am. All right, that's going to do it for us. Put the curtain down. Cue the music up. See you tomorrow right here. Same station, same bat time, same bat station right here on WCRS Radio.